My name is Brandon Wells. Thank you so much for coming. I am the marketing manager for Xbox Games. Today I'm joined by Jörg Neumann. He is the head of production for Microsoft Studios and my boss, director of Xbox Games marketing. And today we're really excited to talk to you about two things that we are passionate about and love very much. Video games and Disney. And today, yes, that's right. Earlier this week, we just celebrated the launch of two great games on Xbox One and Windows 10. Disneyland Adventures and Rush, a Disney-Pixar Adventure. And today, we just wanted to invite you to come and have fun with us and really find some awesome experiences that these games bring for people of all ages.
I want to give you a little bit of background. Obviously, we're going to play the games. So, the story of these games actually started in 2009, when we at Microsoft made something called Kinect. And we said, hey, you know, this is something that families will enjoy, and we need to make some games that are related to families and that are enjoyable as cooperative experiences. And so I was tasked to come up with concepts. I came up with four. First I said, hey, we need to work with Disney. The second thing was, I came up with four. And the first one was a pixie dust game, just basically all the fairies. The second one, and I have daughters, and it was purely for them. The second one was a John Carter of Mars game that didn't get made. Damn it! And then two more games. Those are the ones you see today. The one was called Connect Rush then, and the other one was Connect Disneyland. This one actually started out slightly differently. What it ended up with, it was a Mario Kart game. I don't know if you know what Mario Kart is. It was a straight racing game. And then when we visited Pixar, it was very clear that they said, hey, look, our movies are all about stories and characters, and just making a racing game doesn't make any sense. So we invented something. We sat there with Pete Docter and Roger Gould and said, and John, maybe you want to start, and we said, you know, we need to give it context. It needs to be about stories, it needs to be about characters. So the first thing, and I don't know if you ever played with Kinect, if you have a Kinect camera, it actually will scan you in. Like I said, it sees your clothes, it sees your face, it creates a character for you. Here we now also have a controller version and a mouse keyboard version, so you can make your own characters to your heart's content. John just made some. Here we go. And then the construct was, how do we bring different worlds of Pixar together? That was actually one of the more challenging things. And in this initial game that we released, we had 5 worlds. And it was, I think it was Pete Docter who said, you know, why don't we just make it a park? A park where people, creative kids, tell each other stories about the worlds of Pixar. What could be, you know, beyond the movies. So he came up with this idea of the Pixar Park. And he had sort of this, hey look, when we come to work, we're actually dropping off our kids sort of behind the office. And that's what they do in real life, they tell each other stories. And we're like, hey, let's do that. And so here we arrive in the school bus.
Kids are expecting you. Have a great field trip.
And at the very beginning of the game, you're actually arriving alone. And you just run down to the park. And the idea was that you make friends throughout the game. Basically, you experience these worlds of Pixar together, and as you go through it with these other characters and kids in the park, you make more and more friends. So we'll walk you a little bit through this. Here you can see, if John looks around a little bit, we had 5 worlds in the original game. There was Cars, Up, Toy Story, Incredibles, and then Ratatouille. And then for this release, which comes out with Xbox One X now, we added Finding Dory. And John, pick one.
Finding Dory?
Finding Dory, we're doing that first. So the awesome thing was, the Pixar, when we said, hey, we really love these games, we would like to bring them back, and not just with Kinect, also with controllers and on a PC. They were really enthusiastic, and then we said, well, we need to add something. And they said, well, nothing has been done with really a bigger game with Finding Dory. So we started to write a story about Finding Dory.
Let's go.
So you can see this is brand new. This is, by the way, the game is made in France by a company named Asobo. And I don't know if you play many of the Disney games, but they've been making awesome Disney games for a while. They worked on, they did Ratatouille and Up, and a bunch of other ones, Wall-E. And Pixar loves them because they get the characters. You know, you need to be perfectly, exactly right as like the movies are. And yeah, so everything is, obviously we do comparisons against what the movie looks like, but I think we're almost there now. What's interesting about the game, like when Pixar first started, they invented a whole bunch of things, I'm sure you know. Rendering techniques like subsurface scattering, those types of things. And that was, when the first Toy Story came out, it was brand new, it's never been done before. And as time passed now, we have the exact same techniques in our games. So the games tend to look pretty much exactly like the movies. So John, the concept of the game is that you pick up coins. It's not just a straight racing game. There's a timer, but you also have to pick up coins. And with that, you are getting an overall score. And with that overall score, you get medals and you unlock new things, like different paths, different characters, different abilities. So there's a lot of replayability in the game. This game is fully co-op. I could just pick up a controller and would jump in, which is honestly something that I miss in games. I've been making games for 25 years and somehow we got away from that, playing games with each other on the couch. So I'm super pleased that these are all couch co-op games. And you know, honestly, like specifically in our world, like I have 2 twin daughters, and they often have the problem like, what are we going to play tonight, Dad? And there are very few games that you can play together. So these are celebrating Disney, so I think it's just an awesome fit. It's not a super challenging game. Like we have sort of a philosophy of don't fail. You know, it's not that much fun to fail. So you can lose some coins, you get lower scores, but it's really, it starts. When I initially designed some of these games, I thought like 5, 6-year-olds, and then I got a bunch of emails from parents of 3-year-olds. So it was interesting. And actually, it was very heartwarming to see that, because it was their first game in many cases. So you can see all the things you can unlock. So different characters with different abilities that allows you to go different ways, and you can basically explore the reef. All right, so that was Finding Dory. I think I would like to show you some other ones, maybe Toy Story or something. All right.
Which means we gotta get him out of
Sunnyside and into the car before Bonnie and her mom leave for the airport to pick up Grandma.
It's a crisis.
We need a plan to get you over that gate.
Oh. Well, perhaps if we procured a battery.
You're a genius. You're going to be a legend around here in no time.
So initially you start as this robot character,
Mr. Pricklepants is counting on us.
who was actually designed by the same designer who designed Buzz Lightyear. So as you progress in the game, you actually unlock the Pixar characters and you can play them. You can see here that's it's completely different gameplay-wise from what we saw in Dory. This is all about puzzles and really figuring out the levels. It's not as much about speed.
Slide away, my friend.
It's what? It's yeah. They help you a lot. So the Pixar characters come to you and say, hey, you do this, and you show arrows, and we're trying to keep it very, very obvious. But there's hidden secrets, so that like for a core gamer, you can find all kinds of things. There's hidden paths, and so you can. It's basically for both, for adults and for kids.
All right, we can do this. We just need to focus. Find the batteries, save the hedgehog. Got it? Now, what could we do with that stuff? Don't forget, we have to get Mr. Pricklepants to buy.
So it was really fun, obviously, exploring the world of Pixar. I don't know if you want to see another one. Interests in cars or something? Yeah? All right. Their cars was cool because we were able to incorporate some things that were cut from the films. So we sat down with the animators and they said, hey, we had this idea, but for example, in Mount Fuji, you actually drive through the gardens. That was unfortunately cut in the film, but we have it. So you can explore the world a little bit more.
Finland missile, British intelligence. And if we can get near enough to the convoy, we can suss out who's behind those bombs. Discretion is vital. We'll keep a low profile and see how close we can get. Ready? Let's go.
Are you having mechanical problems?
Chance to glide than the one coming up.
Look, we got some shiny deals coming up. Get ready to spin.
Professor?
No thanks to you, McMissile.
No thanks required, mate. All in a day's work.
Alright, I think we're going to go over to Ratatouille.
I was just about to play some more Ratatouille. Okay, what if we're in the kitchen at Gusteau's, and Linguini got the rats out before the health inspector came? But now, Skinner's madder than ever. And he knows that Anton Ego, the famous food critic, is at Gusteau's tonight, because he loves Remy's Ratatouille. And Skinner wants to ruin the Ratatouille. And then Ego will change his mind and give Gusteau's a bad review, and they'll have to shut down forever. It's Skinner. He's coming to the kitchen. He's gonna ruin Remy's cooking. We have to stop him.
To the kitchen.
There won't be a restaurant left to save! We're like a well-oiled rat, and now you're cooking.
That's John having a special ability here. This is smell-o-vision.
I told you, this nose is never wrong.
Get back to the sewers where you belong, you disgusting rodents!
Station 5 needs more basil. Throw that thing over there. What's the worst that can happen? If only there was something you could throw. No. That doesn't make Dad happy. No.
Get back to the sewers where you belong!
Keep it up!
So you can see John could go all kinds of different paths. There's all kinds of things you can find, actually.
Right about now, I'd want Celine to show up.
All right. I think you get the point. Like, we really love the movies, obviously. Exploring other, it's very rare that you get to work in properties like this, and telling new stories is great.